They had it all up on the side of the road, and then all of a sudden, in a days it'd be gone, and I thought.
Maybe you were gonna talk.
Directional board underneath. Yeah, that's why every 800 feet they have a hold up.
So if I just a quick hit after that, just comes right back on.
All right.
Yeah, it's both good family and friends growing up. So it's funeral is Friday, so it's like, that's his daughter, she sent me.
Yes, 13th is. All right, 6 o'clock, and start the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you everybody for joining us for the July 6th, 2022 Credit River City Council meeting. Before we get to approve and amend the agenda, I do want to make an introduction. We do have a new staff member with us beginning tonight. Mark McNeil is serving as our interim administrator for the next year. Mark comes with quite a bit of experience, and we're very excited to have him on board to help us get to the next level. So appreciate it, Mark.
Happy to be here.
Perfect. Approve or amend the agenda. Does anybody have any amendments to the agenda tonight?
None?
No,
I'm going to remove sheriff's report as our deputy called and he's not going to make it tonight. All right.
I talked to her. What do you want?
Were you in the front seat or the back seat of the squad?
Window observing.
All right.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that we approve the agenda with removing the sheriff's report.
I'll second it.
Motion is second to approve the agenda with the noted changes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Consent agenda. Those items on the council agenda which are considered routine, non-controversial, are included as part of the consent agenda. Unless a council member specifically requests that an item on the consent agenda be removed and considered separately, items on the consent agenda are considered under one motion, a second, and a vote. Any item removed from the consent agenda shall be placed at the end of general business. Tonight on the consent agenda, we have the property and casualty insurance and a resolution 2022-25 appointing election judges for 2022. Is there anything on the consent agenda anybody would like to remove and consider separately?
No.
If not,
I will
motion.
make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Leroy. Motion is second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Open forum. The public forum is intended to afford the public an opportunity to address concerns to the council. The public forum will be no longer than 30 minutes in length, and each presenter will have no more than 5 minutes to speak. Topics of discussion are restricted to local governmental topics rather than private or political agendas. The council may discuss but will not take formal action on public forum presentations. Commissioner Wolf, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, council members, and Ray Thomas.
Could you turn that microphone up? You have to hold the button down for a second. You're good. Thank you.
Good evening, Tom Wolfstock, County Commissioner. Just a couple things tonight. County Road 27 there, they're telling me it's going to open up to 21 on the 13th. Okay, so you guys probably know that. Got the primaries on August 9th. And out in Elko New Market, they got what sounds like a nice sized water bottling plant coming in over on the southeast corner of 35 and 2. So Highway 35. So go across 35 and to the right, probably 50 to 75 employees. With phase 2, probably be another 25 to 50 employees. And they will have, I believe, 50 to 75 trucks every day coming out of there. Every 15, 20 minutes, they're going to fill up an entire truck full of water and ship it off. So it,
I didn't know there was a spring over there, Tom.
as a matter of fact,
Yeah. Where's the water coming from?
they put up a new water plant here about 4, 5, 6 years ago, and that's where it's going to come from. And that's going to take up
Wow.
a good chunk of the capacity.
I bet.
So they might need another water plant. So, which they're going to pay for the water. You know,
Yeah.
part of the program. They were in contention with Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and Eau Claire really didn't want them.
Hmm.
So they were protesting. They didn't want anybody using plastic. So it'll be a nice commercial business for Elko New Market and for Scott County.
Sure,
So
sure.
anyhow, nice, good jobs and stuff. So that's all I have
Cool.
tonight, unless you have any questions.
You guys have any questions for Commissioner Wolf?
All good.
No?
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Anybody else for open forum tonight? All right, we'll close open forum and move on to general business. In general business, we have two items. Item number one, Credit River goal setting session. Mark, you've got this one.
There we go. When I met with you back in May, there was a suggestion that you might be benefited by having a discussion of goals prior to hiring a full-time city administrator. A couple reasons for that. One, it would provide potential applicants with an idea as to what sorts of things you would want that person to do once they would get hired. And secondly, if there are things that are going to be impacting the FY23 budget, better to know that now as we get into that. A goal setting session doesn't have to be long and involved, but I think it would be worthwhile. I have an acquaintance of mine who is willing to facilitate it. Mark Nagel just recently retired as a longtime assistant city administrator for the city of Elko New Market. However, he has also been a longtime teacher of public administration at Metro State University and at Normandale Community College. He was also the Scott County CDA HRA director for 4 years, so he's very familiar with Scott County and our neck of the woods. He has done goal setting for other cities. He does it at no charge. That's part of his payback, his commitment to Metro State. And I would certainly think that this is something that would be beneficial to us if you're interested in doing that. Normally, he likes about 4 hours. I've talked with him, and I think we can probably get the same thing done in about an hour and a half to 2 hours if you're interested and willing to do that. There would be some homework in advance. You'd have to give some thought to it. But I would suggest that if you're interested, that we might be able to do this perhaps following the August 1st meeting. Is that something that you'd be interested in having me set up?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I think it makes sense, and I know that Mr. Nagel comes very much recommended. That he does a great job.
No charges.
Other people that have worked with him, so yeah.
No charges, right in our wheelhouse.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, good. Well, then if you guys are good with that, I would take a motion to authorize Mark to arrange that with Mark Nagel and set that for August 1st following the normal city council meeting that night.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion that we authorize city administrator to engage Mark Nagel, and we'll set the goal setting session immediately following the August 1st board meeting, council meeting. Thank you.
I'll second that.
What he said, right?
I had 99% of it right.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, motion is second to authorize Administrator McNeil to arrange the goal setting workshop for August 1st. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Item number 2 in general business, fiscal year 2023 budget process and schedule, version 1. Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's my favorite time of the year. It's budget preparation time for next year. So in any case, I've talked with Dominique and she tells me about what you did last year. I would suggest that there might be a way to streamline the budget. You recall last year, I think you met in subgroups as the council. As you're working into full-time staff and things like that, here, what I would suggest is that perhaps you consider appointing a budget committee. In that case, you've got a finance committee made up of the mayor and Councilor Lawrence. If they're willing to serve as half of that, the treasurer and I would be the other part of that. Of course, we'd involve the whole council throughout this process as far as what their preferences and needs are on that. What I would like to do is we'd sit down as the budget committee a couple times first, go through, incorporate what might come from the goal setting session on August 1st, and then do a work session in later August where we might be able to look at this. That would give you then the 2 regular meetings in September to adopt a preliminary and a final budget that needs to go to the county by September 30th. Similar to last year and all preceding years, that would be the maximum amount the levy could be. You can always reduce it, but you couldn't increase it. As similar to what's happened previously in November, the county will send out notices. I think there's a different lot this year in which there needs to be an explanation of any significant changes unique to Credit River. But we would then have that ready to go for what I would suggest, the first regular meeting of December. That way you have a presentation, you have the budget presentation at that point. You could then adopt it either at that meeting or at the second meeting in December. It needs to be certified as final by the end of December. Questions or comments?
No, Brent, Leroy, any questions?
I think it makes sense to me. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of different than we've done it before, but as we are going to streamline and have staff do things like a city does, because then we're a city. I think it makes sense, and Mark's got a lot of experience with this, and I say, let's do it.
Yeah.
Ideally, in years to come, this will be all staff driven. It will come to you and you'll be able to give preliminary input and then at workshops. But I think this being kind of a transition year, this might be a good compromise to do that. But again, we're certainly willing to take whatever input there is and try to accommodate that. We've always got the tug between all the things you want to do and here's money that way.
Right.
So that won't change.
100%.
So if that is the case, certainly the schedule that is there, that's what I would suggest you adopt tonight. If something comes up, we can change it. Some of the ones in the optional dates anyway, but
Yeah,
otherwise, motion to approve the process and the schedule would be in order.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to adopt the schedule.
thank you, Councilmember Schomer.
Second,
Thank you, Councilmember Lawrence. Got a motion and a second to adopt the proposed fiscal year 2023 budget schedule and process. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember liaison updates and councilmember reports. Got anything, Leroy?
Just did a little more tree trimming last Monday and fixed a couple of signs, and that's about it.
Okay,
Going around on every Monday now and repairing stuff. What if?
okay. Brent, you got anything? to
yeah, I
report?
was just saying, we have begun the absentee election voting process for the primary. And I would publicly like to thank Amy Olson, our election administrator, and Bill Markert of everything they're doing and getting that process going. It's a little more complicated than I think the three of us thought.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we're going to have some reinforcements coming in too. And so good learning process for all, but I appreciate Bill and Amy sticking with it and getting us through it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Sounds good. I don't think I have anything to report tonight, so. All right, let's move on. Approval of claims listing. So tonight, we have total of claims totaling $116,519.04. Anybody have any questions or comments on any of those claims listed in there tonight? If not, I would take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Brent.
I'll second it.
Motion second by Leroy. So a motion and a second to approve the listing of claims tonight of $116,519.04. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. With that, I would take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Leroy.
Second.
Thank you, Brent. Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. 14 minutes. Look at that.
Getting better.